So, hello, and thank you for joining the webinar today. My name is Erica Lambert Shelton, and I'm the Senior Financial Aid Advisor Outreach Lead here at Palo Alto University. I'm doing a webinar series from throughout the whole academic year to kind of focus on different financial literacy topics to help educate you all, the students, and to keep you all informed. So, today we will be discussing saving and investing on how to budget your money. So we'll talk about emergency funds, investing basics, learn about low risk saving options. We'll learn about the time value of money, how far your money can grow over time, and just making informed decisions as a student, whether undergraduate, graduate, or professional student. So I always start our presentations with the major changes that are happening to the Grad Plus loan. So starting July 1, 2026, new borrowers or new students starting a program this coming fall will no longer be eligible to take out Graduate Plus loans. Then there will be new borrowing caps for graduate and professional students. So if you're already enrolled and you already borrow Graduate Plus loan prior to July 1, 2026, you will be grandfathered into the Graduate Plus loan program for the next 3 years or until program completion. If you are someone who is a new student starting this fall in one of our graduate programs, you will not be eligible to take out Graduate Plus loan. However, the borrowing caps have increased. So if you are a professional doctoral student, like in our PhD and our PsyD program, and you will be new starting this coming fall, that our unsubsidized loan limit has increased to $50,000 since you will no longer be eligible to take out Graduate Plus loan. And for our regular master students, that cap for the unsubsidized loan will remain the same at 20,500. Um, so basically, just to kind of recap that, if you are a current student and you are already taking out Graduate Plus loans, you will be grandfathered into the Graduate Plus loan program for the next 3 years or until program completion. If you are a new incoming student that is pursuing a graduate professional degree, such as the PhD or PsyD program, you will not be able, or one of our master's programs, you will not be able to take out Graduate Plus loan anymore because the loan will be exhausted. And so if you're a master's student, you are eligible for unsubsidized loan for up to 20,500. If you are going to be pursuing the PhD or PsyD program, you are eligible for the unsubsidized loan of 50,000 for the entire academic year. If you want to talk about this a lot more in detail, you can always set up a one-on-one meeting with me or attend our financial aid office hours to discuss about this a little bit more in detail. But this is one of the reasons why we are putting on these webinars to try to find different solutions for students who need additional support with funding their education. So let's get into it. So why does saving matter? Saving is a key concept for your financial well-being. Making a savings a regular habit, even saving a small amount, will build a foundation for financial success. Building saving creates financial security, especially when it comes to emergencies. So you'll have like a stash of money put away in the event for a rainy day funds. Saving reduces the dependency on high interest credit cards and loans because if you put money aside, you're able to pay off the credit cards and the loans a lot quicker. You're able to pay the balance in full every single month, and that's always a good thing. Saving reduces dependency. Saving helps build long-term positive, just overall financial habits early. Learning how to put some money aside is always just a good tool to be able to do. And then when you have graduate, I understand that when you are pursuing a graduate degree, it does come with limited income. So it would be kind of hard to save, but that's some of the things that we'll discuss in today's presentation on how you can still do that with limited funding. So some of the common financial challenges for students is limited income. Your income is mainly going to come from your refund checks, any type of stipends, part-time work or federal work study program options. The tuition is high and living expenses is extremely high, specifically in the Bay Area. So how can you save any money if your rent is $3,000 plus and your refund check is maybe only $10,000 a quarter, and you have to budget that small amount of money to get you through to the next quarter and to the next refund check. So also, if you're someone who's paying student loans back, the student loan repayment options, that can be a challenge for you to be able to save. And then if you're in like your internship year, then you are going to have irregular income during your internship. So still, the question is how to save when we have such a small funds coming through as students when we are supposed to be living as a college student, as a broke kind of graduate student, just trying to survive. We still want to make sure that we're putting small amounts of money to the side. So to be able to do that, you have to budget. So budgeting basics. So you want to be able to track all sources of your income, identify your fixed expenses. So fixed expenses, those would be like your rent, your tuition, your car payment, car insurance, any type of payment that you're making on a monthly basis that does not change. You want to identify your variable expenses. So that's going to be groceries, gas, utilities. And those tend to change per month based off of the type of usage. You want to create a monthly spending plan and then you want to review and adjust your budget as needed. So the budget that you make for fall quarter may not be the same for winter quarter, and you always want to just review and go back over to see what changes need to be made. So, as a student, we would suggest income-based budgeting. So, you'll follow the 50-30-20 rule: 50% of needs, 30% of wants, and 20% of savings or debt repayment. And so, you're going to adjust your personal situation. And this rule helps maintain balance between your lifestyle and your long-term goals or whatever those goals may be. This type of basic budgeting can help you with that. So how does the 50-30-20 rule work? So here we have an example of monthly income of $3,000. So your needs are 50%. So your needs are what have to be paid. So you'll put 50% of your income, which would be 1,500 towards rent, groceries, utilities, books, insurance. Now, obviously that rent amount, it will vary depending on where you're staying, but this is just a quick little example here. And then your wants. So wants is that's gonna go, your income will be 30% of that. So that's gonna be all the fun things you want to do. So you're dining out, you're traveling, your hobbies, going to the movies, things like that. You'll put 30% of that money aside. So based off of a $3,000 income, it'll be $900 that you'll put aside for that. And then your savings and debt would then be going 20% of your income. So $600 to your emergency fund, your loan payments, credit cards, and future expenses. So with the 50-30 rule, it does offer structure and it offers some flexibility. So you start with small balance needs, wants, and goals to reduce your stress. If you want to build an emergency fund, you're going to start off small. So putting $25 to $50 a month, and you want to look into see if you can put that money into a high yield savings account. That way the money is growing. And then when you see that you're kind of putting $25 here, $50 there, then maybe make your goal and to increase it. Maybe you can do $500 a month, or maybe you can do $1,000 a month. And you want to save up at least 6 months of expenses. However, that's if you are able to. So in the simplest form, the way that you can save money is you gonna pay yourself like you're paying a bill. So when you do your budget and when you get your check that's coming in, you're gonna pay all your bills, where you're also gonna pay yourself. So you're gonna put that money, set that aside, putting into your savings account. So to how to build an emergency fund. So you want to create a goal, as mentioned, to save up to at least 3 to 6 months worth of essential expenses. You want to start small, 500 to $1,000. Keep the funds, as mentioned previously, in that high yield savings account so that way they can grow, and then use these funds for emergency purposes only. So we're talking about medical, maybe you had some car repairs, just something happened randomly and you're just like, oh, how am I going to pay for this? So that's where the emergency fund will come into place. So just Even though 500 to $1,000, that's starting small and that still may seem large, but maybe like I said, start off small, 5, 10, $15 every month and see how you're doing with that. And from there, if you're being successful with that, then you can add more money to that. And there's a lot of different budgeting tools that are out there, obviously online, apps on our phone that we can use, Excel spreadsheets to help budget your money. Automating your savings. So you want to set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings account. That way you're not automatically thinking about it just automatically comes out. Just like how when you pay the bill, maybe you're on auto pay and it's just automatically coming out of your account. You don't see it, you don't have to worry about it. It's automatically placing a certain amount of money into your high yield savings account. So you want to save a portion of your income after all the bills are paid. That's how I kind of do my budgeting. Like I pay all my bills and then I see what I have left over in form of like spending money, and then I'll still set a portion aside to still go into my savings account. Some strategies that can kind of help you when you're on a tight budget is you want to reduce subscriptions. So I know that we have tons of subscriptions. We got Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Paramount, Peacock, all these things. Maybe you want to limit those because when you think about it, a lot of these streaming devices are playing the same type of shows. So narrow it down to maybe one or two streaming devices, streaming subscriptions that you may have. Eat at home. As a broke college student, there is really not a need for you to be going spending money out every day for food, especially when everything in the Bay Area is quite expensive. So you want to budget for groceries. So go to the grocery store, get all of the things that you need for the week, and then make your food at home. But obviously, you want to have some fun time with friends, and maybe you want to go for coffee and things like that. So that's why you have that money set aside where you put into your savings, or you put dining and entertainment for like if you do the income-based budgeting, you put that within your budget so that way you know how much you have allowed to spend for those fun outing meals. Use student discounts. So a lot of times, like if you want to go to the movie theater or if you do want to go out to eat, they do have student discounts, and all you have to do is like still like show your student ID. Get a roommate. With living in the Bay Area, especially if you're going to move out here for your program, it is highly recommended to get a roommate so you can kind of cut those expenses in half, or maybe three or four roommates, depending on how large the space is. Obviously, there are times where students do need to live on their own, and we can accommodate your cost of attendance to account for that if you specifically cannot stay with anyone else. Usually, those tend to be per a doctor's note. Maybe there's some type of medical thing going on where that person has to stay by themselves. And if you needed additional money, you can always come to the financial aid office and we can increase your cost of attendance to then allow for a little bit more loan funds. And then you want to allocate your tax refund. So if you get a tax refund, if you get a student loan refund check, always make sure that you put a portion of that to your savings. Um, so even like I said, a small amount, $25, $50 is good. Doing the saving process automated will reduce temptation to spend. And like I said, you can just show your student ID to any of the local participating stores out there to get student discounts. So now we're kind of going to talk into like what is investing. So investing is the act of putting your money into something with the hope that it will grow over time. So investing is putting your money into assets like stocks, bonds, or real estate with the goal of making it grow over time to just build wealth, to build overall wealth. So investing is very important with small contributions. Think of it as like planting a tree. You take care of it and it over time it grows into a big tree, which is considered like more money, and people invest to grow wealth. People invest to achieve financial goals. People invest to beat inflation and just to build overall generational wealth with your family for your families and things like that. So time value of money. So this is kind of one of the core principles of investing your money. So, time value of money, or TVM, is the core principle that money available now is worth more or the same amount in the future due to its earning capacity. So, if I put money aside now and if I put it into something that's going to help it grow over time. So, if I put $5 in now, within 5 years, how much money should that be? That should be a little bit more money because we are allowing it to grow over a time period. Because money can earn interest, any amount is worth more than sooner it is received, allowing for investment growth and inflation protection. So, money today is worth more than the same amount in the future. Money available now can be invested to earn returns, inflation. It can help reduce purchasing power over time. And time value of money evaluates financial decisions like your loans and the type of money that you're investing. So kind of some key principles, some key concepts of time value of money. So the present value. So when we look into the calculation, it's going to be present value, future value. So present value is the current worth of a future sum of money or a stream of cash flow given a specific rate of return. Your future value is the value of current assets at a specific date in the future based on assumed growth rate. Compounding, so the process of earning interest on both the principal and the previously earned interest. Discounting, the process of determining the present value of a payment or a stream of payments that is to be received in the future. And then the interest rate. So this is the rate at which the amount compounds or is discounted. And if you look online, if you like go to type in Google and you want to see how to calculate time value of money, they have lots of different calculators online that are available for you to be able to calculate the time value of money based off of present value or future value. So this is how to calculate. Future value calculates what a current amount would be worth in the future, giving a specific interest rate and compounding periods. And then present value calculates the interest worth of a sum of money to be received in the future. And that's kind of also called discounting. And so here is just a quick example of the two future value and present value, time value of money examples. So you invest $1,000 today at 5% for 10 years. So that's the equation. And then $1,000 today grows to $1,629 in 10 years. Now, that's not a whole lot of money, but it's showing you that it will grow. And then the one below is the present value. If you receive 5,000 in 5 years at 6%, then it would actually be worth $3,737, like as of today. Um, so these are just some quick examples. This is kind of the basics of investing. If you have additional questions or information, I would probably advise that you talk to an accountant or like an investment professional to get a little bit more in-depth knowledge on this. But this is just kind of like quick tidbits that you can take with you as you start your schooling and looking at how to make your money grow. So type of investment account. So you have your brokerage accounts, which is flexible investing. You have Roth IRAs, which are tax-free growth and withdrawals and retirements. You have traditional IRAs, which are tax deductible contribution, and then employment retirement plans if they are available. Keep in mind when you are investing, you are taking a risk. When you invest your money into something. So with that risk, there will be gains and then there will be losses. Other type of investment accounts would be stocks and bonds. So like a lot of popular things that are happening right now are people who are doing day trading, and you have to have a certain amount of money. I believe it's about $2,500 to $3,000 available, like in your account to be able to trade. And those tend to, allow you lots of funds, in a shorter period of time. So that's something that you can look into. However, when you are doing something like day trading, you have to study it first before you just kind of dive in. So you don't want to make too many mistakes and lose too much money. And so here are just some more of like you're a beginner as a student. We're all beginners. So here are some beginning investment options. They want to focus on diversification and have low fees, including exchange traded funds, index funds, mutual funds, which will allow for set it and forget it investing. And then as mentioned previously, other beginner options, if you don't want to do like the stock options, would be like the high yield savings accounts, certificate of deposits, 401ks, Roth IRAs, some cash life-term policies allow it for investment of money. So those are just some things that you can kind of look into. And so here are some helpful tips. You can start saving even with small amounts. Understand what time value of money is. Invest early to benefit from compound growth. Use low cost diversified investments, and consistency matters more than the amount, more than anything. When you're investing your money or when you're trying to save or when you're trying to do save for an emergency fund, consistency is key. Small wins matter. So just even if it's $5, that's better than the zero that you were doing a week ago. So just kind of keep that in mind. And you also want to continuously to come attend the financial literacy sessions that we are hosting here at the university to gain more information and knowledge on how to help budget and save and just we've talked about last month we talked about credit, anything that is related to how to be successful in your career and your matriculation here at the university. The financial aid office is here to help you. And that is the end of the presentation. Do I have any questions? Awesome. Well, thank you, Tatum, for joining us. And are you a first let me know, how did you hear about this session today?
Hi, so I'm a current applicant for the PhD program in clinical psychology. So, yeah.
Okay, so admissions sent you the links to the webinars.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that's great. Thank you so much for joining and taking your time out to listen to the presentation today. We will have another session next month. And if you have those, I believe it's on April 16th. We're going to be talking about loan repayment and kind of like life after college, setting yourself up to be successful after you finish the program. If you have any general financial aid questions, I am the go-to person. I don't know if I've already spoken with you, but if you wanted to set up a one-on-one meeting to just kind of go over your personal circumstances or talk about financial aid and the options that are available, we could definitely do that. You can send me an email. I'll put my email here in the chat.
Okay.
Okay.